Yo, what's going on, everyone? This is Jeff at Geek Driven, and we're here, Team Nerd Her podcast on the Nearing Nirvana YouTube channels with another movie and shows where we're going to go ahead and review episode 3 of Ahsoka, Time to Fly. And we've got our main host down there, Big Rob. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? I just a little frazzled. I lost my login information for StreamYard, so I was a little scatterhead, but I'm good. 7:30 West Coast. What is it? 8, 9, 10:30 on the East Coast? Shit, it's already late over there. Yeah, season 1, episode 3 of Ahsoka. Awesome.
What's up, Nerd Herd Nation? Here on Nearing Nirvana. Yes, like these two gentlemen just said, we're going to talk about episode 3 of Ahsoka. Can't wait to talk about it. It was a quick episode, but we're about to jump in right now. So let's get this ball rolling. Do it.
All right. Before we get going, let me go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsors. We've got our sponsor, Cover Price. So if you want to get 30 days of unlimited cover price for 99 cents, remember to put in the code Nerdvana14. So that's 30 days of unlimited cover price for only 99 cents. And you type in that code Nerdvana14. And then, of course, you want to go over to Bird City Comics to get your incentives and your store exclusives. And, you know, they got toys and they got other comic books. So if you want 10% off your purchase, you type in the code TNH10 and you save yourself 10%. Go check out all their great, exclusives that they have. Yeah. And then if you go to our buddy DisplayGeek.com, you can get some protectors for your toys, protectors for your Funko Pops, your video games, and you even get some shelves that, portable shelves. If you type in Team Nerd Herd, you get 10% off your first purchase. So that's Team Nerd Herd, and that's 10% off your very first purchase. And then we want to give a shout out to our 4 horsemen. We've got Santi Rudy 1, we got Something Wong at The Anime, etc. And we got at Glenn 2K12 from across the pond. Thank you, fellas. Really appreciate you guys. And then we also got our resident DJ, Eddie. Eddie, thank you so much. Go check him out at Beats by Monster. Doing all the good, cool grooves. And did I just say cool grooves? That's just, I'm old. I just dated myself.
That's groovy.
All right.
You want a cool groove? Is that what you want?
And then, of course, we got GT Key Comics in the building. I'm sure he signed in a long time ago, and then he signed in a couple hours ago. So yeah, awesome. I'm sure we'll find him on the rewind. So with that said, Big Rob, I'm going to move you, and you get to tell us all about episode 3.
Sure, I totally not prepared. Fucking work ruined my opportunity to prepare, but I remember the episode top of my head. So it's pretty okay. Episode 1 and 2 was a blast. Let's catch up a little bit on the 1 and 2. Episode 1 and 2 was a blast. Great episode. I think I gave it an 8. I think most of us gave it an 8 last time, the last 2 episodes. Pretty much where we left off with episode 2, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sabine joining Ahsoka to take off, right? Yeah. That's where we left off. And that's the end of episode 2. We come into episode 3, and the first thing we see is one of the most badass Jedi training scenes I think depicted in Star Wars. They might have done this in Clone Wars or Rebels, I'm not sure, but it's the what's his name?
Hu Yang.
Doing this crazy light show.
It looks like a General Grievous.
General Grievous 2.0 lightsaber testing or training for Sabine, and this, of course, I love the room of that ship, that particular room, the decor, the
center.
That's like 3 rooms in one because that furniture just like pops up.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that.
The prints on the scripture on the floor, on the walls. Beautiful scene, great cinematography. Jeff, what else you saw from there? Let's talk about that scene. What do you think about that scene?
So I think it's perfect because Hu Yang is described as the old Jedi's robot who is in charge of all the lightsabers. Like all the younglings create their lightsaber with Hu Yang.
Uh-huh.
And so he has the knowledge of lightsabers. So it would make sense that he would train lightsabers, and know everything about it. And obviously he's a robot, so he's probably programmed that way. So I mean, that's really cool. It felt like because he was the old Jedi's robot, it feels like he was training them exactly how he would have trained all the younglings inside the Citadel. It just, that's awesome. Like I felt like she was going through like which
Can I cut you off? Can I cut you off for a second? Can you share that screen? I can't. It won't let me share it because
yeah.
Count.
Hold on.
Damn you. There you go. All right, go ahead.
All right, no worries. So, and I also find it funny because we kind of know where she is training wise. She's basically at Youngling. Right,
an old youngling.
Yes, a very old youngling, even older than Anakin was.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Anakin was 10, I think, when he started training. Right, so I mean, what? She's probably 20.
Yeah, like mid or late,
mid 20s, probably at least.
Yeah,
and
the
so
character? Yeah.
Probably. So she is super late in her training, even though she might have been trained before. She was probably even trained late at that time, right? Because I think this is supposed to be 10 years ago she met Ahsoka. Something like that.
No, so she probably met her in her early 20s, so she might be in her late 20s or early 30s.
Right. All I know is she met her 10 years prior, right? Because I think that was the time jump from Rebels, the last episode, to that scene where Ahsoka comes to pick up Sabine.
Yeah, I thought it was like 7 years, wasn't it? Right after the show was over. I think it was 7, but it could have been 10.
I think it's 7 years after the last battle, right?
Yeah.
But Rebels is 3 years before that, right?
Yeah. So 10. Do the math. Yeah. You got it.
Yes. So we're talking. She is old in Jedi years. And so it makes me question. So like it brings up all these questions, right? Like, well, why is she training? Why is she even being trained by, like, why is she Ahsoka's Padawan? Why did she pick her? Like, and then just, I guess I don't want to go jump ahead. So, and I also, yes, this scene was awesome too. If you heard what they were saying, you felt like you're going through like this nostalgic, what do you call it? A recall, right? And you go, oh, she said the exact same words Luke said to Obi, right? When he goes, I can't see out of this.
Oh yeah, how am I supposed to see? How am I supposed to fight? Yeah.
It was totally basically a recreation of that scene from the Millennium Falcon when Obi-Wan and Luke are talking.
And also, it's a drawback if you're a Rebels fan to Kanan because of because of the face mask and the training that he did as well with Ezra and Sabine. So like it gives you all those callbacks, and I just really dug that the robot was so completely 100% honest. Like there's no holding back. That's my program.
I know, right?
She's no Jedi.
Charlie, what do you think about this scene?
Man, that scene was, I mean, like you said, the way he trained. I never seen a training droid do that before. And like I said, look at like a General Grievous because he had like the 4 arms, and he was saying like, I think it was Kenpo signs, right? He was saying, like he was saying certain rhythm signs, and then she was cutting the holographic boards, and like at the end, like you could see all the holographic boards in front of him, and you could see where she cut, and he's like, not excellent, but not bad. She's like very like mediocre on her training, so that's pretty funny. I mean, it was pretty cool in that aspect, and also the fact that when she was blinded, and how just Ahsoka was like how the way she moved around her so quick. You know, like a ninja. it kind of freaked her out a bit. So I thought that was pretty cool. So
What up, Alonzo?
I thought it was pretty epic.
Yeah, so that basically this particular scene was broken up into two segments. It was the first part where she's training with the robot, and then when Ahsoka's giving her lesson.
Yeah.
And that the interaction, the dialogue that it was written, I think it was really well done. This is honestly better writing for Star Wars in the last, at least in the last few Disney Plus shows. 100%.
Well, we'll talk about the writing because I agree, but I also agree that there's some part of the writing that it miffs me sometimes, and I wonder if it's done on purpose. That's all.
Okay. So yeah, here's an image of that. I love this room. I just love the way this room, the lighting. I guess I like soft lighting. I don't like that bright.
You know how much space you could save if our living rooms can do that?
Right? Just come out from the ceiling or from the floor. I don't care.
Living room / dining room / dinner table / everything. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a pretty short episode. I think 30 minutes. Really, probably mentioned that from the beginning.
It's 32 minutes long or something like that.
Yeah, 32, 34 tops. So this probably be a quick episode for us to review. So from this particular interaction of the training sequences and the dialogue between them, and how much it just shows, it just kind of develops more the frustration. I guess this scene is really not for the hardcore. It's more for the newbies who really don't understand Sabine and Ahsoka's relationship.
No, but I also tells a story to us about their relationship.
Yes.
It digs deeper, and it also digs deeper into what kind of person Sabine is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the hardcore, it's useful, but we don't really need it. We
already know
that. For the newbies, this is essential. You need this. You need this whole. Well, how long was this? Like 10 minutes or 7 minutes?
Maybe less. It was less than that. It was probably 5 minutes.
I mentioned that because a lot of people were complaining. At least the hardcore were complaining. This is boring. This is annoying. The better parts were later in the episode. But this is not really for us. It's more for the people who are new to the characters.
If you really think about it and you break down the whole episode, there's more exposition in this episode than you would think in a 32-minute episode.
Yeah, but
it's all necessary.
100%, and it kind of goes with the theme of how Filoni wants the style of the show to be. So
sure.
So what was the next? Sorry, go ahead.
He's fleshing it out for all the people to get used to these characters that he's created.
Yeah,
and then on top of that, he's fleshing it out for the movie that he's anticipating.
Yeah, it's was it 12 to 22-year-old Star Wars fans that have a very difficult ability to stand there for 7 minutes and listen to dialogue. Yeah,
they all are somehow born with ADD. Yes.
But that's Star Wars. A lot of Star Wars is dialogue. What was the next scene? The next scene
are they drinking like tea? And they're talking about how the Force is going through us and around us.
But before we get there, did you guys see all the lightsabers Ahsoka had?
No, I don't think I noticed that.
I think when she went to go grab the sword, the wooden stick, right next to her was a panel of a bunch of freaking lightsabers. So
she's like a collector, like the collectible lightsabers.
No, but that makes me question, like, how did she get all those lightsabers? Did she find a bunch of dead Jedis?
Oh, maybe. Like they're like dog tags, maybe.
Yeah, like that.
They are dog tags, really.
Or are they all belong to Hu Yang? Did he collect them all?
Oh, that too. Could be his collection.
Right.
Yeah. Well, from dead Jedi, probably before they passed away. Not through the purge, but like through different moments because he's a very ancient robot. Yeah.
Right.
Different Jedi. Maybe he's different Jedis he served. Right.
Yeah.
It's a memory. They're like memories. Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering about it. That's all. Because I mean, you don't see a lot of lightsabers after the purge.
Yeah, because they're all destroyed, taken away, confiscated. More like they're confiscated,
or they're turned. Yeah.
You're right, Charlie. There is that one part of the scene there. I was going to move on to the next, but actually, towards the end of this particular scene in this room, where they have that conversation about the Force, and it's very similar to the Yoda conversation with Luke.
Yep, exactly.
Yes, actually, I think there was an actual sentence from that conversation in there.
Yeah,
because it sounded too familiar.
The Force is with us, around us, and everything. That's what all the Jedi Masters say, practically.
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah, and also Genoa that says that in Rogue One, I believe.
Yep.
I believe I heard several people say that in the past. So yeah, that was a great, just a little refresher for folks. Like I said, this is there's if you look at the actual watch, like how many people are watching the show, there's a lot of them are not hardcore probably Star Wars fans. So it does all this extra reminders do help.
He's not wrong.
That's what dialogue is Star Trek.
He's not wrong.
And sometimes it's a lot better.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I feel like Star Trek series wise is written better.
Star Trek Next Generation dialogue is second to none.
Yeah, it needs dialogue. They talk about all that scientific stuff, dude. It's like it needs dialogue. Star Trek does.
But
Absolutely.
Hey, in this world, we love both. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not Bloods and Crips, bro.
You know, Star Trek is for the thinkers, and then Star Wars is for the viewers.
It's for
You
the
know what I'm
action
saying?
packed
Yes.
viewers. Yeah, that I definitely agree with that.
And that's sometimes when they get in trouble because they try to be a little too Star Trek-ish, and it turns off.
And then Star Trek tries to be too much Star Warsy.
and it turned off. Yeah, it turned off. Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because that happened with J.J. Abrams, right? He tried to make it a little too Star Wars.
Too much. Like the first movie, I could accept it, right?
Cool.
Because you had to explain it, and it was a big thing, and it was a big reason, and then now you're in a big conflict now. The whole timeline has changed. Yeah, I understand all that.
Sure. Yeah.
But after that, I don't want to see Benedict Cumberbatch freaking jumping over freaking city wallscapes and roofs and
I don't know what he was doing. Yeah.
That was part 2. Yeah, that's the con one. Okay, well, let's get out of Star Trek. Let's go back to Star Wars.
My bad.
So the next scene is when another kind of a flashback scene is I believe when we go to with Hera at the general scene, right? So basically they start you off with the space intro of the ships flying through the Armada, and that totally brought me back to Return of the Jedi.
What up, Steve?
When the fleet's gathering to attack the Death Star, and they're playing that music, it totally reminds me of that scene. It looked almost shot by shot. It was the fleet from Return of the Jedi going to gather up to attack the Death Star.
Wasn't it flipped the other way around? Right, like all the ships are going to the left instead in the original.
I can't remember.
That's what I thought, but I could be wrong.
You know what we're talking about, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was a great special effects shot. That probably cost a lot of the budget right there. That one shot. So then they cut to.
There's a lot of shots in there. It cost a lot of the budget, bro.
So the whole point of showing the Armada is to cut to the scene where Hera talks to the senators and reports her findings at the last episode at the shipyard, right? At the shipyard where they were building the ships. And she lets them know what she finds, and the senators are all skeptical. They don't want to believe that the Empire was so well infiltrated in their setup. And there's one senator in particular who's kind of pretty much a dick. And I think, in my opinion, I think he's Empire, but we'll find out eventually in the future.
Maybe.
I'll explain to you who he is.
And then Grandmama Mothma was there.
Grandmama.
That's what called Mama. I think that was the goal. I think when George Lucas created, he thought of her as a motherly type. That's what he called her, the Great Mothma, right? So
she's a Mon Mothma, yeah, and then
or Mothma, whatever.
And I loved her in Andor.
Yes, I never finished watching Andor. I just got caught up on other shit.
Finish watching Andor. It's so good.
I got to episode 5. Yeah, a lot of people. It's the problem with Andor is a lot of people love it or hate it. There's no middle with Andor.
It's too Star Warsy for me to hate it.
So, okay, so that's the scene. We're in this scene, and I'll let you, Jeff. You find no more of the details.
Yeah. So, okay, before we get there, we finally see Home 1, which is Admiral Akbar's old ship.
Yeah.
And we get to see A-wings, and we get to see Corellian. What are those? The one with cruisers. Thank you. and there was a couple other things in there too, but we can get past that. This scene is so the first thing the guy mentions to Hera
Yeah.
when she goes, is the Chancellor ready? He goes, oh, Giano is there, right? Giano. This senator is actually, if you've ever watched the last animation made by Star Wars, which was Star Wars Resistance, that one had a main character named Kazuno Giomo. So this senator is the father of Kaz from Resistance.
Is it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was like, I remember that last name, so I had to look up the last name. Like, oh, son of a, it's Kazuno's. Yeah, or I think I'm saying his name wrong. Kazumo, something like that. Kazuni, something like that. But yeah. So that senator was the jerk, and that he was warning Hera about. And then they have this conversation about what that the Empire is still within the ranks of the New Republic.
Yep.
And with those within the ranks, they are still loyal to the Empire. And these senators basically say, well, of course we have all these Empire people who have signed loyalty oaths to the New Republic, and they're within all ranks of the New Republic. And she goes, well, they all say, long live the Empire. I don't think that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't sound too loyal.
and then the senators blow it off as if, that's just a pocket. It's not, it doesn't happen everywhere. It's unrelated to anything. And then the other senator, which is Giano, he basically says, well, I'm sorry, before I get ahead, Hera asked for permission and to get a fleet to go to Cetos to figure out what's going on, to the Deneb system. And the other senator, Giano, he basically says, well, you just want us to give you more budget, more funds to fund your quest to go find Ezra Bridger, right? And she goes, because she warns them of Thrawn.
Yeah.
And when she says Thrawn's name, and you look at all the holograms, you only see Mon Mothma pretty much react.
Yeah.
And not in a good way, like in a worrisome way.
Uh-huh.
The other ones are like, meh, okay.
Especially this fucking idiot right here.
Yeah, her and the guy to the right, that's Kaz's father. And he's questioning her.
Who's Kaz?
Because he's from the animated series Star Wars Resistance. He was the main character. Oh. So that's his father.
I still say he's dirty somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's not dirty. He's just a. I mean, it's pretty much explained in the next part where he's saying, "Oh, you just want funds to find Ezra Bridger because Ezra Bridger was last with Thrawn, and so how convenient that Thrawn is now a threat again, right?" And then she asked the question, "Senator, have you ever been in war? In the war?" He goes, "No." So you just sat back and waited for the winners to win?
Convert, yeah.
Yeah, she pretty much called him out.
Which is true, yeah.
Yeah, and he's not done nothing. So in the sense, that whole interaction basically tells you what kind of senator he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like any leader who has never been in the military who talks about the military, right? They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They have no business. It's like any of us who've never played football and act like we know everything about football.
Monday morning quarterback.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with all that. I still think he's some. It's I know it's times. No, it's well. Is it? This is before Resistance, isn't it?
Yeah, it was way before Resistance because Resistance is in the is Poe Dameron's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's after, way after.
So I'm assuming that character's a lot older by then.
Yeah.
Oh yes, he's very much older. He would probably have been in his 50s or late 40s, maybe. So this is probably about 20. No, yeah, less than 20 years later, probably would be the Resistance. So, but yeah, I mean, he's you're basically seeing that these senators are they're inept because they don't understand war. They don't understand the what the rebels had to go through to beat the Empire and to get to the New Republic, right?
And they show that in that one episode of Mandalorian season 3 when
Mm-hmm.
That scientist gets sent to the that
Oh yeah,
forest,
that weird like Black Mirror episode where just a scientist that gets his mind electrocuted. Yeah.
Yeah, that episode it was like such a weird oddball episode. It made no sense to put it in Mandalorian. That episode could have been in any show, really.
Yeah, I guess. I think they wanted to show you the politics that was going on at the time.
Yeah,
it's
it was a little weird, but yeah,
So
it made sense.
some of the critique for the overall thing of the Republic at this point is that they're how stupid are you? They're making these people a little too stupid or naive.
Yeah.
Well, that's always been that's what missed me in this episode is this writing of how this council handled this situation, right? Because Hera asking them for a fleet to go with her to check it out. They deny her in the end, right? So and it also remember this senator on the right. Now I don't know if it's the same senator. It probably isn't, but it's the same species that was under the influence of the Emperor.
That's right.
Okay. So like they're the ones who yelled out something, remember, in the Senate. And so like it missed me that when they do all this politics, and I love when they do the politics, but then they write these politicians as they're completely inept, they're completely stupid, they're completely ignorant. They all have obviously their own agendas, and none of them get on the same page, right? And nobody can understand anything. And so it makes it easy for the enemy to have taken over, such as the Empire, such as the First Order. And it happens throughout all Star Wars movies, though. If you really think about from the very beginning, the prequels, all the way through, everybody who's a politician is an idiot. They let the Emperor take over. Okay? The whole Senate was tricked by the Separatist War, the Clone Wars, right? Tricked into creating a clone army, tricked in giving him all the power, and now they're back and they don't believe any of the stuff that anybody says. And they won't help these people who are telling them that help is needed. And here's the worst part, if you really think about it. In the first 2 episodes, the Jedi, not the Jedis, the Jedis who are supposedly coming to that ship, right? That the big battle cruiser, they let them on knowing that it was a trap, knowing it was a trick. Number one, these people are idiots. So now you're from a Senate and like these, from a senator's point of view, you hear a prisoner, a high value prisoner is taken away by these dark side Jedis. Okay. Your own fleet, your admiral was killed. One of your captains or admirals was killed. Your own fleet was attacked, okay, and now and then you have a Jedi and a general who goes to Corellia, finds out that the Empire still exists within your ranks, is building a huge hyperdrive that doesn't belong in any New Republic ship, and and he gets away, okay, and you're telling me nothing's wrong. Don't investigate further.
It's to me, yeah, that could be bad, but to me, it's like they also have a lot of self-interest, and they're just watching their self-interest, and they don't want to be muddled. They don't want to shake the water, basically.
Right, but that's the problem, because it's also hubris. Because even one of their sentences said, I think they said, the Empire is scattered. There's no centralization. They'll never gather.
So, yeah, I agree. They're idiots, but also they're very selfish and just they're typical politicians, right? They just.
But I think that was the point of the writing, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. It's
no matter who's in charge, shit's gonna always go bad.
Well, thanks for the clear picture of that scene. Good job there, Jeff. Charlie, what was your thoughts on the scene? Did you enjoy the scene, or it was boring to you?
No, I mean, it's important because this the Senate looks very fragile, and like I said, they're looking out for themselves. They're saying that they're still trying to, get some sort of control. So in this factor, I think this is the perfect time to strike if the enemy is ready, like Thrawn. I mean, look at what they have. Like you said, they got their own self-interest. They don't even look like a powerful band of senators, dude. And always in every like what Jeff said, like in every Star Wars arc or story, before a war happens, you always see the political part of it, and it's always like either they're naive, selfish, ignorant, or they're in on it. So something's gonna pop, something's gonna crack. So I mean it's kind of a good scene to start off where pretty much where the shit hits the fan.
It's that's like France and England in 1939, right?
Get it?
Right. Something like that. Like, everything is fine. Yeah, what are you thinking about? And then all of a sudden, bam, they get blindsided, and here comes Thrawn out of nowhere.
It is real life, sir. All politicians are idiots.
What? Really? No. So yeah, that's what I think.
Well, let's move away from this political scene to a little tidbit we saw right after.
Woohoo!
Who's
finally? That is Jason Syndulla, sir. That is the offspring, the son of Hera and Kanan Jarrus. I actually got the last name right. That just came naturally. So he's if you guys don't know who Kanan is the Jedi who sacrifices life to save all of the rebels against Thrawn, actually. That is who Hera was referencing when she said she had lost friends and family
to Thrawn. Yeah, and she looked pissed. The fact that he said no, he's like, what?
And the fact that senator said, and Ezra Bridger died a hero.
Yeah, the cartoon ponytail. Yeah. Yeah, that's him, dude.
So Kanan Jarrus is the Jedi mentor for Ezra Bridger.
Yep.
And in Rebels, I really wish you guys would go watch it, but he becomes blind at some point, and that's why it brings me back. That's why I think Big Rob as well. It in that training session where she has to be covered, that also brings you back to that whole Kanan storyline. But he's part human and part, I don't know, was it Twi'lek or I don't know what's Hera. What kind of species is Hera?
I forgot
the race's name.
Yeah, well, he's half and half, and so he's got like a human body with green hair instead of like
which
her
makes
tails.
No sense. There should be at least some protrusion in the back of his skull, those tentacles coming out.
I really think it should be too. And
at least something like halfway out, right?
Because they just dyed his hair green and bam, he's happy.
Well, that's what he did, yeah.
But that's what they did in the animation. Samson. Yeah, that's how he was in animation. So
yeah, I know.
And Jason is with a particular droid, Chopper, and basically, I mean, do you want me to describe the scene, sir?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. He sees his mother and says, "Oh, I want to become a Jedi, because I heard Sabine is being trained by to be a Jedi." And Hera goes, "Well, who told you that?" "Well, Chopper." And Chopper gives his little smart ass little remarks and.
Like, I don't know.
But honestly, anytime Chopper's in a scene, live action or not, he steals the scene. But in relation to Jason, his name is spelled a certain way too. It's spelled Jacen. And if you guys have read Star Wars books, that is a reference to one of the twins of the Solo clan. So I think it's Jason Solo, and I believe he was the one who was supposed to turn as well. If that's what I remember reading. But yeah, that's the throwback. It's kind of like a callback to that character, and I think that's awesome. So we do get a Jason, and remember his father was a Jedi, so they might be hinting to a future series where he shows up, maybe a little older.
Might be Force sensitive then, right? Maybe
yep,
Force sensitive.
Could be Force sensitive.
Kanan was his dad, so it's definitely
so it should be, right?
Yeah. Could be, not should be, could be.
Definitely, Jeff. What are you talking about, bro?
It doesn't pass.
Skip a generation like baldness. I don't know.
Only a technical skip a generation, bro.
Obviously. But yeah, everyone in the Rebel world was questioning if he would be in the series. So I am glad. I did say last episode, I believe we're going to see a character we've wanted to see. And that is definitely one of them. And so I'm glad we got that. And the hints of maybe him becoming a Jedi one day.
That's cool. Really cool.
All right. Well, that was a short little scene. So I believe I just wanted to just touch on that really quick. From here, we move. What's the next scene? I forget. I'm sorry.
Scene after that, she hologram calls Ahsoka and Sabine, saying that she can't go with them. I think.
Oh, okay, that's the conversation between Sabine, Hera, and Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, because Sabine is trying to force the cup. She's trying to do the force thing with the cup.
Oh yeah, that was a nice.
Yeah, that was the conversation about the Force.
Well, basically. That was it cut it in the middle of that. Then we saw Hera. And then after that, you see Sabine trying to do something, and then Ahsoka was like, "Hey, we need you up in front." And then so she kind of quit that training of the Force cup.
She was doing what all of us did when we first watched Star Wars.
Yes, sir. Yes,
we all went to an inanimate object and we're like,
that is so true. As a kid, I always thought that the Force was real, dude. Trying to like move a cup or a piece of paper, a wind blows, like, oh, I did it, or something.
Yeah, that's what when I saw that, I'm like, I told Leslie, I bet you everybody's doing that now.
Yeah, for sure.
There's nothing there, Steve.
So.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, there's that conversation between Hera tells them there's no fleet coming, you're pretty much on your own, which leads you into probably the best. Well, it is the best scene in the whole episode.
By far, yeah.
The space chase, space battle, whatever you want to call it, which of course is totally bringing a callback to the Obi-Wan and Jango Fett space battle from Attack of the Clones.
Yes,
that's totally an homage to that. So basically, it's I like to call her Chitsu, or it's something too hotty, whatever her name is.
Shin Hati.
Shin Hati.
She looks like a maniac, dude. The way she just stares at the screen, like, oh god, she looks crazy.
Yeah, she's super intense.
Like super doll, really. Yeah, Shin Hati. And a couple of those, I think it was like two fighters. They had those robot pilots,
and then they had what's a Star Killer supposedly.
Oh yeah, supposedly Star Killer.
We'll talk about him. It's Marok.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a minute. But yeah, basically they come out of nowhere. They start chasing because they come out of warp on Ahsoka ship, and they're there. They go after them, and like I said, it's literally the recreation of the Jango Fett Obi-Wan chase from Attack of the Clones. So you can pretty much imagine how that looks.
Mhm.
And also is a callback to towards the end of A New Hope, where the Millennium Falcon is fighting the TIE fighters, and Luke and Han are
Yes,
they're fighting with the cannons.
they're on the
and
gunners.
The
Yeah,
gunners.
What did he say? Don't get cocky, kid. Don't
yeah,
get
yeah.
the big
He's
hockey
like,
kid.
great job. Don't get cocky, kid.
Yeah.
Love it.
So
Classic.
that's the picture. This is the battle, and it's such a great epic scene. Well, let's talk about that first before we go on to the moonwalk. We'll discuss the moonwalk here in a minute. But what do you think, Jeff, of that one? The initial space battle.
That was probably like, if I was going to say anything about this episode, it had a lot of exposition, but it also balanced it out with a lot of action.
Yeah.
And this action is awesome. I love seeing space battles, especially in Star Wars. It is Star Wars. They are having a war in the stars. Okay.
I never explained that. There's wars in the stars. That's funny.
You know, so like that is Star Wars to me. Also gave me throwback vibes to the prequels, especially to Clone Wars, especially to Anakin and Obi-Wan in their ships, right? And especially when they're battling in space. I think you know, where they had the little droids on their ships trying to eat away at the metal, right? Like all of that reminds me of this, because if you see the enemy, Shinhati, Marok, and the other pilots, well, at least Shinhati did. She had the same communicator as Anakin did. So that also tells you another story within itself, that Balin and got away from the Clone Wars, right? I mean, from the Order 66, and took the Clone War era ships to probably get away. And he's using Clone War era items.
Well, that's why you had the old Jedi code on the other ship. Remember, it's like, oh, it's the old Jedi code, but it checks out.
Which makes sense now. Exactly. Now, see, I didn't even put that together. So that makes sense. And it looked cool. The whole thing with Sabine jumping in the gunner section, and like and her and Ahsoka's conversation about like, oh well, I can't hit anything, and blah 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 blah, and like, well, you know what, let the master be the one listening to the you know, Padawan, right? So you tell me what you need me to do for you to hit them. And that kind of, it's different from a regular Jedi and Padawan's relationship in any other movie. It would always be the Padawan listening to the Jedi, to the Master. And in this case, Ahsoka does not do the same things as the Jedi Order does.
Yeah.
And I loved it because it worked. It was a great scene. Are we going like the whole scene? No, we're only going up to the point.
Yeah, we're gonna probably break down this into 3 segments here. So Charlie, before we get to the second segment of this scene, what do you think of this initial space battle with the gunner part and all that stuff?
The gunner part was cool because when Sabine got into the control, she's like, "Oh, you erased all my settings," and I want to know what kind of settings she had. Like, she had inverted controls or something. So I was kind of interested, like, what kind of settings she had. And yeah, you're right about the teamwork. She's like, "Hey, you know, what do you want? I got you." So they're working more like a team instead of a teacher-student. And I like the fact that, yes, before this, she had a conversation with Barong. What's his name? Barong? The droid? The droid says, like, well, you should do the teachings because, you know, remember, like, it worked for the millennia for other Jedis. And she's like, I want her to be her. I don't want her to be a Jedi specifically. I want her to be her, you know? So there's going to be another... It seems like it's going to be like another type of Jedi class, not necessarily Jedi, but its own thing.
Its own order.
I mean, something. So that's kind of cool. I want to see what comes into fruition with this. And with the space battle, I loved it, dude. I mean, and plus when Ahsoka says anticipate the shot, you know, kind of like how you would when you're shooting a turret. From depending on how fast the ship is and the distance, you do gotta you know, compensate the shot, kind of go forward. So I kind of like, you know, the communication they had between each other. So I thought that was really cool. So I dug that.
Okay.
Just to chime in, I just remember that Hu Yang did say something about that whole I want her to be herself.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, you do come from a
Uh-huh.
non-traditional line
Yeah.
of Jedis, right? And
Mhm.
then I immediately when he said it, I went down the line in my head. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, Yoda to Dooku to Qui-Gon to Obi-Wan to Anakin to Ahsoka to Sabine.
All those lines, man.
And all of them are not normal Jedis.
No, even Luke was too old to even be a Jedi. And look what happened. I mean, it worked out in a way.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy.
All right, let's go into the part of the show where like, oh, they're going there, and it's awesome.
Oh, they're going there. Oh, they're
Yes.
going there.
No. Before this, I think they get to the remember they get to the hyperspace ring. They discover the hyperspace ring,
Yeah,
and then they're
it's all kind
scanning
of-
it.
Yeah,
How
it
many
kind of
drives they
blended.
have? Had like 6 hyperdrives or 7?
Six hyperdrives plus a seventh that has not been installed yet.
My God, dude! I think they're gonna strap that around a whale or something and shoot it off into.
That's what I was thinking because I was like, that thing's too big.
That's huge, man. But who knows? We don't know. So I mean,
Yeah, I heard about. We'll discuss that in a minute. But
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the hyperdrive because that's they're going towards the planet where they follow the hyperdrive to. That's where the big giant ring with the hyperdrives are and the planet, right? Well, on the way over there, they gave basically, you could say there were what was it not?
No, so
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. So they attacked the hyperdrive first before they get to this scene.
well, they didn't attack it. They were just trying to get close. Hu Yang's like, just a little bit closer. I need to
yeah,
scan
he tried
it.
to scan it. He wanted 100% scan on that ring. That's what he wanted.
Yeah, so that's what happened. He wanted to scan the ring. He's just a little bit closer, and as they're getting closer, Elsbeth, she is she's telling them to fire upon them with turbo
What was it, the
blasters,
hyper
turbo
lasers?
lasers.
Hyper
Yeah,
lasers?
turbo blazers.
Turbo lasers. Yeah,
Yes.
turbo lasers.
And the whole time, they're losing shields or deflectors. And as soon as he says, "I get 100% scan," they get shot and are kind of deactivated for a little bit, and they're just kind of floating through space in between the ring. And so the ring is like saying, "Oh, we can't see her." And there's this little quip going between Morgan. Is it Morgan? Yeah, Morgan and Shin Hate. Okay, because one was like, "Oh, Shin Hate, I can't believe you let her get this close. We'll take care of it." And now it's, "Oh, looks like you didn't finish the job. We'll get it."
And they're going after them because the ship is disabled. They're just basically floating in space. And this is definitely one of the key points of the whole series. Probably people are going to remember this scene. It's when Ahsoka jumps into a spacesuit and comes out with gravity boots.
Yeah.
Which to me, I remember that brought me back to the another Star Trek reference.
Yep.
The Picard episode. The Picard. What was the First Contact, right?
Oh yeah, we're the Borgs.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're trying to place the antennas on the.
They're trying to put deflectors on there or something like that.
No,
like
antennas. It was antennas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there was a couple of them they had to put on there, but then they had to fight the Borgs because the Borgs were coming after them.
Yes, so that brought me back to that. So I'm like, oh, then she's wearing gravity boots, and I think they might have done that also in the Clone Wars, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm sure they have.
They did. One of the Jedi Masters was holding his breath and came out of a ship. The dude had like a weird, not a crab face. I forgot what his name was, but yeah, there was one scene where he came out of a ship. And
Paul Clune.
yes,
I
remember that.
He had a mask on already.
Yeah.
Did he? I thought he was like holding his breath.
No, he always has a mask.
Oh, he always has like a respirator. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know that. Okay. But yes, that's what I remember.
And she's basically telling Sabine, get the ship going. I'll hold them out as long as I can. And she pulls out her lightsabers, and with her lightsabers, she's deflecting the guns from the fighters coming at her, which is
ballsy, dude. Ballsy.
And it's a great scene. It's I don't know. It brings to me so many different images in my head. Like I said, Star Trek, Space Odyssey 2001. it brings all that to my head, and it's a really memorable scene. It's such a cool ass scene, and there you go, a new Black series, Ahsoka with a spacesuit.
A new figure. Yes,
and,
sir.
and again,
Spacesuit
it
Ahsoka.
adds to the lore of her force powers.
Yes.
It adds to the lore of how great of a Jedi she really is without telling you, right? It just showing you, like, whoever, like, if in the world, even if you lived in this world, even if you knew Jedis that had existed, you'd be like, no way anyone could do that. No way that happened. No way did she take a starfighter down with her freaking lightsabers.
Yep.
Okay, so like in space.
No, mine I add in space.
So like that kind of thing is it's what I always wanted them to do with Luke, right? Don't tell me he's a legend. Show me he becomes a legend.
I can't show Apollo Cruz's chat because I don't have my regular account.
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it.
They actually
created probably like 10.
What up, Tony?
They actually showed a ton. They actually grabbed a bunch of figures on Hasbro Pulse today for the new show. We'll go over them on Saturday morning Toy Box.
Oh yeah, so stay tuned. Stay tuned to that.
And I think Funko had shown a picture of Sabine in her full Mandalorian outfit with a gun and a lightsaber.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, so she could be like I've seen in some games where you could do a type of fighting style. You have a gun and a lightsaber. It was called I think it's called like a rebel fighting style or something like that. So you know what? That's a pretty good point. I think she's gonna be that type of fighting style because I mean, supposedly Jedis don't use guns or lasers or anything because they think it's very, how do you say it?
As Obi-Wan would say, it is so uncivilized.
Uncivilized, yes. So, but then the Jedi kind of evolved to using weapons, projectile weapons and a saber. So pretty cool. I think we're gonna see that, and I think that's gonna be awesome.
Hey Al, I can't touch.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, L. Tony's in the house.
Tony's
in the house.
What's up, L?
Thank you all for dropping in.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, it's cool. I hope maybe if we're lucky, we'll get just a little scene of one Mandalorian Jedi meeting another Mandalorian Jedi in Grogu.
I think that's gonna happen, sir.
Yeah,
you don't have to hope.
I'm just saying, we'll see. Maybe in this series, maybe in the film, in the future film.
Last hope.
Yeah, but the two Mandalorian Jedis, right?
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome.
But
wouldn't doubt it.
Let's finish the scene. So this scene basically, she deflects them. Sabine's able to get the ship up and going again. Ahsoka gets back in her spacesuit, back into the fuselage.
And that was cool the way that happened because her wings, her spin. So Sabine used it to her advantage, spinned it toward Ahsoka, and she just runs down the wing into the cockpit.
Yes, which brings us to probably the second coolest scene in the whole show, is when they go into the atmosphere and they're going in, and out of the clouds come out space whales. I forgot the official name, but that's also
they're Purgles, sir.
Purgles. Yeah, they have names. Purgles. Yeah.
Purgles. Yeah, they said Purgle Star Whale. They actually said both names on there. But
yeah, they did say space whales. Yes.
Was it space whale or Star Whales?
Yeah.
I thought it said
space whales.
Space whales.
Star Whales.
Of course, we remember them from the multiple episodes of Rebels. They explain them well in the show Rebels, and of course that was one of the last scenes in Rebels was the space whales when they drag Star Whales when they drag Ezra and Thrawn into the other galaxy. Leslie's notes, yes, that's her notes.
Is that a bill? What is that?
No, it's Leslie's notes from Ahsoka.
So she did write it down correctly. Space whales.
Nice.
No, she wrote down Star. She wrote down Star Whales. I swear they say
Star Whales.
It's Star Whales.
Is it Star Whales?
Yeah, they say Star. No, we colloquially fans say space whales, but on this show they say Star Whales.
I like Star Whales better, actually. Star Whales.
Interesting.
Sounds more exotic. Sounds way more exotic.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I had the I had my settings on so I could see the subtitles.
Yeah, I know that's probably a good idea. So yeah, so they're getting chased out by Shin Tu Hati and whatever damn name is, and the robots.
Maruk. No, there was nobody else. There's only two of them.
Dead. Yeah, it's like Charlie said, what's his name? Star Killer and Shitsu are chasing down Ahsoka and Sabine through the whales, and they're doing this crazy like pivoting whales.
Very cool navigation. Very cool navigation.
Yeah, just the graphics are showing that. Yeah, you're right. They spent a lot of money on that shot.
The
too.
FX on that shot, I think, cost more than the FX with all the spaceships.
Yeah, because the clouds, the texture, and all that. Sorry, Charlie, go ahead.
I would love to see like the behind the scenes on how he mapped. Remember how the whales were kind of like going close together, like they're collapsing together. They were going through it.
I could not imagine the amount of layers they used in like Adobe After. Maybe they use.
Oh my god! Yeah.
All these. I know there's several. I don't want everybody nerd out on computer programs here, but like After Effects or maybe Nuke, and they just like I said, done a little bit of that in the past. Just to do that, like driving through all that 3D animation coming at you, it's gotta be super complex and crazy. Fucking.
I would love to see. Yeah, I love to see behind the scenes on that, like how they did it.
Because changing the views as well, your perspectives.
Yeah.
That in the middle of the whole scene, like that's like I understand the cut and paste, but still, like those each scene, each viewpoint is a different difficulty.
Yeah, every frame is bananas, and just the texturing of the whales to make them look realistic.
Yep.
The cloud covering, and then they go through all that into above this planet, and you see this giant red forest, which I thought was amazing looking.
And honestly, the Purgles looked better than I ever thought they would live action. It didn't look too effects. They looked like it had a lot of depth within the whales itself. So like, I think they did a great job. I didn't think they were gonna pull that off.
Star Whales, they knocked it out of the park, dude. It was amazing. Did you watch Rebels, Charlie? Forget.
Yeah, I watched Rebels, but I kind of skipped some episodes because when I was watching it, it was kind of like noise in the background when I was doing stuff.
Yeah.
So I might miss a few details, but yeah. In other words,
I mean, the Purgles are not. I think they're only in like 2 or 3 episodes.
Well, I know what they are. I mean, they're the type of whales that actually do hyperspace jump, but naturally, right? Mm-hmm, they go through. Yeah, I mean, I know those details, but yeah.
Yeah, because the Purgles come out in the last episode, but the better episode for the Purgles is the one with the mining, right? At that mining planet.
So in that episode, they're mining material for the hyperdrives.
Yeah.
Right? The fuel.
Which the Purgles use as.
The Purgles need it to live. They feed off of it, right?
Exactly.
And on top of it, they use that same fumes to also that they have to have it in order to hyperspace to the other galaxies where they go.
Because they migrate. They go through the galaxy lanes. What was it? Some sort of lanes in the galaxy?
Intergalactic
pathway. Yeah, intergalactic pathways. Yeah, exactly. They migrate, and that's how they migrate. So.
Yeah, they can't migrate without it.
Right.
Bananas. Fucking crazy science fiction.
That's what I get for watching a lot of Rebels.
No, but just the concept of making that happen.
That's cool.
Which I guarantee you, they were probably watching Star Trek 4 Voyage Home high as fuck.
That's what I was saying too, because every time I heard about Purgles, I was like, Star Trek Voyage Home?
That's what the whales, right? Because whales are alien species, actually.
But I used to call them space whales after I saw that movie. I called them space whales, the 2 whales.
And that's probably why a lot of people got that phrase, right? Space whales. And so when they saw these whales, space whales.
Yeah. They just blurred it out.
It's so awesome.
We just need a spot to mind meld with them and talk to them. And say, hey, man.
Mind meld.
I guess that's a way of using the Force.
Yeah. Talk to whales.
Which I guess Ezra Bridger does do with them in the episode.
He actually does, because one of Ezra Bridger's special Jedi powers is to speak with animals.
Mm-hmm.
to creatures. And he's not the only one. It's not special to just him, but it's a specialty with among Jedis or Force users. And so he was able to communicate with the Purgles to help him defeat Thrawn and take them away somewhere else. Yeah. So it'll be the same here, at least for maybe Ahsoka, or maybe we find out Sabine has the same kind of Jedi power as Ezra. Who knows? But yeah, who else we want to talk about, sir?
Okay, so we get through. So they come into the planet. Like I said, they're at the goal at this point, because they're pretty much hobbling with the ship, is to hide. So we get this great shot of the forest. It's like a beautiful red. Reminds me of, I know, blasphemy, but The Last Jedi, right? The redness of that.
All the red sand when it breaks.
Wait, the red.
The forest.
Oh, I thought I meant the sand, like that sand planet that.
Well, yeah, it is the red sand planet from The Last Jedi at the end when they're digging the dirt and all the red comes out.
Looks red, yeah. That's how.
Yeah, so when they come on top of the trees, that color is literally the same color they used in The Last Jedi. So it was cool. They come into the forest, they hide, they sit there, and they turn off the powers, which is another callback to the asteroid scene from Empire Strikes Back with the worm.
Oh, yeah.
Let's turn off all the power so they can't sense us with their detectors, because the detectors obviously can sense energy production, right? So that's why they turn off
Huyang.
And
he does object because he has a lot of work to do, and then Ahsoka goes,
protocol, right? Jedi protocol.
It's Jedi protocol.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's true.
The hell, dude? Shut up.
We are talking about Star Wars, so Bobo's going crazy.
I know. So yeah, there's so many callbacks there, because that's totally Empire Strikes Back inside the worm with the asteroid. Just turn off all the power, and they did turn off the droids, I think, and also an Empire.
Everything has to be shut down. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
it's
for
protocol.
But so they sit there in more dialogue between Sabine, more discussion between Sabine and Ahsoka. I can't remember top of my head what they were talking about on that scene.
They weren't talking about too much, I don't think.
No, they're saying that. You think they saw us, and they're like, should we go back out or whatever? But the enemy knows they're there, but they're like, they have to be down there. And then that one guy sent the squad, so they know they're there.
Yeah, I don't think they had too much of a discussion before they turned back on Huyang.
Pretty much it. Yeah.
It's a very quick scene, but it's just a little another insight into their relationship. And again, the 3D or 3D animation or the graphics they used, the VFX for producing that forest and mountain range, whatever it was there, pretty awesome.
Movie quality, man. Practically movie quality, not series quality. It was movie
the
whole episode was.
Yeah.
Yep, it was.
Yeah, they didn't cheap out on the VFX here too much.
No, not at all.
This is not a Boba Fett budget. The Book of Boba Fett budget, So they used
it was all sand. Sand and camels in costume.
And they still save money on the VFX and Book of Boba Fett. Bastards.
And they should have wrote that better if they saved that much money.
Yeah.
It was a whole Sand People show. That would have been cool.
Sand People show. The show would be called. It's just like the show would be called. What was it? When they yell.
They go and hurts. So that's a short scene. And they cut to the main bounty hunter, or whatever you want to call him. What's his name?
No, they didn't cut to him yet. Remember, they turn on Huyang.
Yeah, they turn him key. Oh yeah, they turn the power back on, and
then they're gonna sit back out. They're gonna think, they think it's safe, and like, you think we're safe? Like, let's do it.
And he explains what he was scanning, right? Which is
about the hyperdrive.
He confirms it's a hyperdrive ring,
which was a quick conversation in the show.
It's under construction, still under construction.
Hyperspace, yeah.
It was probably a minute or two.
And then they're like, we almost died twice. We're like, normal, like a normal protocol was.
Yeah.
Like they almost died.
He explains there are 6 hyperdrives,
Yeah.
3 on each side of the ring,
Yep.
and a
Yep.
7th one that's being installed. Hasn't been installed yet, so they're not ready to go. Is basically what they're telling you. And also, what does this say? The power levels and configurations are capable of a hyperspace jump with astonishing speed and distance. And then Ahsoka asked, can it go to another galaxy? And he said, yes, very much so, possible. And then he explains that in the Jedi archives, it speaks of intergalactic hyperspace lanes,
Yeah.
pathways, and between galaxies, which are used to follow the migration paths of space whales or star whales, whatever you want to call it, aka purgles. So in the archives, they even have information of this, which also tells you a little something else, like that maybe the Jedi's have crossed these pathways before in the distant path in the past. So like maybe back in the High Republic, the Old Republic.
So in the High Republic, they do talk about stuff like this, but it was more the
Nile.
The Nile, the eye of the Nile. But that one's more of the intergal. It's like the within the galaxy space lanes for the hyperdrive. So that helps them because I think at that point the Navic computer they call it, I think, hasn't been developed.
Right.
So they're not able to do hyperdrive at long distances within the galaxy. So, but they might have mentioned intergalactic travel in the High Republic, not yet. Maybe he's referencing more of the Old Republic.
It could be, yeah. Just you don't know yet because but it's referencing something in the distant past for the Jedi's that have knowledge of this already and have probably already traveled to these other galaxies or at least this other galaxy in the past as well. So that brings up another story that we'll talk about later, but another theory that I have.
Well, it's stories. We're already at the end, pretty much. So you want to talk about it now? Go for it.
Let's see.
Before I go on, talking about the Old Republic, my Darth Malgus ship today, so on the way.
Your what? Your Darth Maul?
Malgus.
Oh, Malgus.
Yes, that guy, the beer type with the bald head.
Yeah. Okay.
From the video game.
That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, Balin sends a hunting party after them.
Okay, so you're going to. So that's the next scene when Balin they show them back at the old witch's room or whatever you want, ruins, whatever you want to call it, temple or marker there, where they have the map, and it's Balin with his HK droids or his
squad.
Droids.
Yep.
And they're discussing, that Ahsoka and Sabine are there. They're planning what they're going to do, and he orders them to go hunt them down. And I don't know. He tells them to kill them or capture them. I can't remember.
No. He says hunt. He says capture them or hunt them. Hunt them down.
Hunt them down. So they probably want them alive.
Yes, I think he wants them alive. He never said to go kill them.
Yeah, so that's where we're at this point, and that's the end of the episode. It's a 34-minute episode. So,
but I do want to speak on that long lasting shot on Balin before it all ends, because I feel like he was doing some more acting there. He was giving you some looks because Balin's already proven that he has the Force ability to project forward, so he can see into the future, kind of like the Emperor did, kind of like how Mace Windu or Yoda would do, like, it's not clear, I can't see, forward in the Force or something like that. But Balin has that ability because he was talking to Morgan about it. Remember, like, Ahsoka I can feel her determination in the Force, so she will be here. So it felt like he knew once he sent them after her, he's setting a chain reaction that might lead to something bad.
So he has like a precognition then, kind of.
Yes. kind of like
fun.
like Vader,
Yeah.
Anakin did when he was having his nightmares.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So he's able to kind of see through the Force a little bit, and he looked like he had a worried face.
All like, oh, I'm done.
Or maybe
He's like, damn it,
he sees Shinhati dying, or maybe he sees
him.
him dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Good. Yeah, good point. Maybe.
Balin.
So with my little theories. So what was I talking about?
Please go.
Oh, so one of my things was when and there's so many other theories that I have that go along with everything else, but the one question I had was, okay, well, if in the Jedi archives they have information about the Purgles, if they had information about the intergalactic pathways lanes, right, and that their migration patterns, that means they observed it, right? So does that mean when that happened a long time ago and the Jedi had traveled to another galaxy, potentially where Thrawn and Ezra is, did they settle a Jedi Order there? Did they find younglings there? Did they train them there and set up an academy there?
Where?
In this other galaxy.
Oh, like
because like that's my questions I've had once they mentioned, oh, it was in the Jedi archives. That means somebody knew about it and someone traveled there.
I mean, it'd be a good point to have if they go to another galaxy and bam, that starts another Star Wars arc or trilogy on that galaxy. Meanwhile, Ahsoka will do her own thing, and bam, right there's a whole new culture, people, aliens.
A whole new expansion of Star Wars.
Yep, for sure.
The only problem with that thing is the sequels, right?
No, but they're so far away. It like doesn't matter. They're in another galaxy, so it wouldn't even come back to to the galaxy of Star Wars.
It's like wiping the slate clean. It's like a whole new thing.
Yeah, much. Because and it doesn't even mean it's the same way as the Jedi Order was dealt with here. You know, it could have been different teachings. Did the Sith follow the Jedi there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those were the questions I had. So that brought me back to another thing that ties into Thrawn. Darth Malik and Darth Revan.
Yeah.
So, is it possible that those guys are in that other galaxy?
No.
No, that'd be a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, but remember, they had the power to keep themselves alive.
I don't know, man.
They were the ones who cheated death.
Yeah, I get your point, Jeff, but I just say the odds is Disney probably would not do that right now.
And remember, we were talking about Morgan was like, I can hear Thrawn through space and time just because. So if they got to the other galaxy, does that mean like time was different? Like it changed the way time is perceived? You don't understand what I'm saying? Like the way they use the hyperdrive and all that other stuff. Could they have traveled through time forward?
So you're talking about kind of like what's it called? That movie from Christopher Nolan where they go on that planet.
Intergalactic.
Intergalactic, kind of like that. Like remember the planet they go on? The time is like
freaking the time dilation is different on different parts of the universe, depending on gravity and everything else.
Interstellar?
Yeah, Interstellar. Yeah.
Interstellar. Yeah.
Intergalactic.
I was thinking about the intergalactic lanes.
No, but I knew because I said Christopher Nolan, so I know I knew what you're referencing.
I knew what you were thinking. Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I just want to come back to this. We mentioned the last episode we talked about this show. Of course, it does remind me of Interstellar because it's very Christopher Nolan vibe to it, and like this shot I'm showing 100% Game of Thrones all the way.
Yeah, Game of Thrones for sure. Yeah.
So it's okay. Let's wrap it up, dude. We're already an hour in here. So okay, so this is the end of the episode. Well, let's give our scores for this episode. Jeff, go first.
I'd actually give it. Wow, I kind of want to give it a high score.
I know.
It's between like an 8.5 or a 9.
That's what I was saying too.
Well, hold up, Charlie. You'll have your turn.
Charlie, not so fast.
Not so fast, Charlie.
Yeah, I'll give it a 8.5 because I think it could have been a little bit longer and given us a little bit more. But I think for what time they had it at, they gave us a lot. And a lot that I enjoyed. So yeah, I'll give it an 8.5.
All right, Charlie.
Man, like you said, because it was only like 33 minutes. They had the training scene. They had the the teamwork. They had the ship battle. They had Ahsoka fighting starships. They had the whales. All that in 33 minutes is pretty impressive. It was nonstop, practically. I liked there was no boring moment in this one. So, man, I want to give it I'm gonna give it a 9, dude. Just the fact that for 33 minutes they put all that in there, I wasn't bored at all, dude. I was like, while wanting more. So I was like, I want to give it a 9. So I'm giving it.
Same kind of rules that Charlie just used, but my score is reversed. I want to give it a 9, but I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because because of the time. It was just not enough time. 33 minutes is a very short episode. If this was an hour episode,
Yeah.
it might have been a 10. But since it was only 30 minutes, I give it an 8. And like I think I did this last time, as a hardcore Star Wars fan and pretty much knowing all the references in the episode. As a newbie, not knowing none of the references, this is a solid 7 no matter what. It's still a good, fun episode.
I've heard people who didn't watch Rebels, didn't necessarily like the first 2 episodes, but like this one, which is weird because this is a very Rebel episode.
It was good.
I think in general, the newbie, so people who don't really follow Star Wars in general a lot, or just watch the films in the theaters and that's it. I think in general they do like this show. This is a good show from the people, just from the comments I've read, interviews, other podcasts, just on the perception or the actual evidence. The general audience does like the show, and the viewing numbers does say that because the first and second episode, that 1 hour and a half of Star Wars from last week, was the highest viewed anything on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
No, sir, for that week.
No, I think and overall it was 14 million views.
I don't think that's the most. I think that's less than Obi-Wan, and less than. There's another show.
Well, we have to. I swear that's what they said. It was the highest viewed show ever on Disney Plus.
There was a little wording underneath that, and it said within the last week.
Yeah, that's from the official Disney Plus. But I think in general, somebody else saying that it was overall.
Nah, it's not.
We'll research that.
Yeah. We'll double check. We'll double check because I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan is a lot more popular than Ahsoka. So that first episode had to have gotten way more views.
I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll find out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and this episode did answer a question of mine that I had for the other first 2 episodes. My question was, how force sensitive was Sabine?
Yeah,
not much.
Not much.
Not much at all.
Well, it's a muscle in her body she doesn't know how to use.
Yeah,
right.
maybe she'll have like some sort of balance between having that slight horsepower and using a gun and a saber. It'll kind of balance even out.
It's not natural for her in her life, so like it's not natural for her. So she's not some big powerful force user.
She's a Mandalorian too. She said they were kind of hard to train as well. She said there's only a few Mandalorian Jedi. Maybe
Baylan will step on Android 19's head and she'll turn Super Saiyan 2.
Probably.
Oh, can we just talk about Marok real quick before we sign off?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so I know Charlie's been saying Starkiller. I know idiots have been saying Ezra. There's always Ezra. Okay? Because why would he come back and Thrawn not come back with him, and then he's evil? Like that makes no sense to me.
That's dumb.
There is a rumor. So I like two rumors. I like the rumor that it's Barriss Offee because she was the one who betrayed Ahsoka and the Jedi Order. And it was disillusioned. So that would be. I could see
female.
her. Huh?
That's a female, right?
Yes.
So
And don't get me. I mean, they did that with Taskmaster, right? They had a male stunt guy, and it was a female character.
Yeah, but then Taskmaster had boobs on her chest plate.
No. At first, you couldn't tell.
I thought you could.
You couldn't tell. Yeah, you couldn't tell.
No, you
There's
can't
no
tell.
way to tell. Yeah.
I thought you could. Okay, go ahead. Well, what's your next? What's the other guy?
And the other guy is obviously what Charlie mentioned, Starkiller. There's actually a lot of reasons why it's Starkiller,
The
or at
credits,
least a version of Starkiller.
the credits and the scene.
Well, yeah. Sam
Starkiller is
Witwer.
a clone of himself, right? There's like clones of Starkiller, I think, right?
I don't know if there are. I think they eventually did, but
Because in the game, I remember Vader tried to clone his apprentices, and one of them was Starkiller or something like that. But I don't know.
I don't know if it was successful. Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't successful. You're right, but there were clones. I don't know if it falls in the line of that. It could be something totally different, though. But
Well, it's Sam Witwer is credited in the end on each episode.
Yep.
Actually, as
So
an additional voice
Yeah.
workover,
Yeah.
his voice reminds me of Doomsday in Smallville, who was played by Sam Witwer. Except it's just but it's also got the little Vaderish voice to it as well.
And also, he voiced stuff in Rebels too, right? Obviously.
Oh yeah. He's
He
voiced
was,
Maul.
Maul. He was Maul.
He's voiced the Emperor.
He was also in Supergirl too. I don't know if you watched that on the CW. He was that racist mutant superhero guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that part. Yeah. But,
Yeah, and they brought him back because he was in Smallville.
So,
Yeah.
was the Force Unleashed not? It's not canon.
It doesn't mean that they can't make some things canon, right? Because they're picking and choosing from legends all the time.
Yeah, no, they'll bring in an idea or possibly even a character, but not the actual history of that character from that legend. They might recreate their history or start new history for it. So I like the idea. That'd be awesome. But I don't know if it brings any weight to the show.
It's not just the fact that he's Starkiller, the voice of Starkiller in the video game, right?
Yeah.
If you look at the history of Starkiller is the apprentice of Darth Vader.
Yep.
We have the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker looking for Thrawn. Why can't we have a good storyline where, now you've got the dark side and the light side of Anakin and Darth Vader and their apprentices going at it. And the other thing is Starkiller was also supposedly a Inquisitor because Darth Vader tried to make his apprentices hidden as an Inquisitor.
I agree. I totally understand and agree in general, but I don't know if for the general Disney Plus audience if this means anything really.
Well, it would mean something if they say it's Darth Vader's apprentice and that no one knew about, and the fact that if he's Darth Vader's apprentice, there's a likelihood he survived the Emperor and the purge of all the Inquisitors when Darth Vader was getting rid of them.
He kept him hidden. He was like a secret apprentice. Because he's not supposed to have an apprentice.
That would explain why he survives past Return of Jedi.
Not to be too cynical, but I don't really trust Disney Plus to do something like that. And this smells of fucking.
I don't trust Disney Plus, but I trust Filoni.
This smells like WandaVision. What's his name? The fucking the guy from X-Men. Oh shit.
Wait for
Hugh
what?
Jackman? Oh no.
WandaVision. The WandaVision. I'm saying this smells of WandaVision and that character.
Oh, Mephisto?
No. The fucking
No. Talking about that silver.
Quicksilver?
Quicksilver. Yeah.
Yeah, like using that actor, but not really.
Older.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not a Disney Plus decision. That's Marvel's decision.
Yeah, but Disney Plus influence, and you know what I mean. The suits
Yeah.
and notes. You know how this works. I'm just saying. I would put money that it's not something really cool that the hardcore will like, and it's something more general.
I bet money that Quicksilver thing was all Feige's idea or the writer's idea. not anybody else's. That's how, because that's a bad idea. Even the higher up guys, they would have no idea what the hell that means. So they wouldn't get it.
The people were just in general, right? It's not the hardcore. The hardcore hardcore will love to put Star Killer. But the general folks at Disney they don't give a shit. They're going to just whatever makes sense to them. I know I'm being a downer. I'm being a Debbie Downer. We want Star Killer, but
I honestly don't believe Disney executives really meddle that much into the creativeness. And it's Disney.
I don't know, dude. We'll see. They've shown me the way many times in the past, so I'm just saying that.
I get it.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
I honestly, for all we know, it's just an Inquisitor.
Yeah, something like that. It would just be something Inquisitor, Sister Number 10.
And I think that's a high possibility. For all we know, it could be the original fucking Grand Inquisitor. For all we know, and who knows?
Which I wouldn't mind, and I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't mind. That'd be fine with us. But I already go hear the fucking shit talkers, the people that just love shit on anything Star Wars. Well, that's fucking stupid. They hyped it up to be somebody else. And we thought it was going to be Star Killer. That's some bullshit Inquisitor. I already hear it.
People hyped it up themselves, though, because it's a mass person.
But that's what I'm saying. They're going to use that to dump on Star Wars. I'm already hearing it.
That's my whole.
I know, being negative.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm with you, right? Like when you had hope that when they make Captain America New World Order, you go Hulk Hogan New World Order. Well, you know what I'm saying? You wanted the whole theme song from the NWO.
Wait a minute, didn't it change
it? Oh yeah, sorry, you're not getting New World Order. I told you.
Yeah, what's it called?
It's so stupid. I don't know why they changed it.
What was it called now? What's the new title? For the
I don't even know.
It was in that picture with Harrison Ford and what's his name? They were in Falcon. They were like talking to each other or something.
Yeah, and where these people were saying, "Oh, we can see that he's wearing torn up shorts."
No, the director's chair said the title of the film.
Yeah, it's not New World Order. It's New World or something like that, right? Or new something. It's not New World Order.
Yeah,
it's something.
Yeah, I forget. It could be Mephisto, baby.
It's Boner too.
It's for sure, Apollo. It's definitely Mephisto under that mask.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, if it's not Mephisto, I'm gonna revolt, bro. I'm gonna want my money back.
Go get your Mephisto books. That's Silver Surfer number 4.
Yeah, go buy 9.8. Make sure you spend $10,000 on that. It's gonna go up.
I look. Sam Witwer's name's on this. I want to see Sam Witwer. You never seen his face in any Star Wars live action. He's been in live action, but you've never seen his face.
I hope it's Star Killer. I have his first appearance in that graphic novel twice.
Even if it's not Star Killer, I just want to see it's him. That would make me happy alone. I don't have to go that far.
I mean, that sounds more logical. It's the actor, but not Star Killer. It's the same actor. as Gwenpool, bro. As Gwenpool inside a costume.
There you go.
Yeah. Sam Witwer deserves to have his face on a Star Wars
live
episode
action
or movie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the dude does.
He is a long time Star Wars. You know what? He's actually a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, he has to be. He's been in a lot of things.
His knowledge of Star Wars is beyond any of ours. I guarantee all of ours combined, I guarantee this guy knows more.
He's been in it. He is Star Wars, so yeah.
All right. So
sorry for wasting all that time.
No, it's fine. We're an hour and a half. Great. That's episode 3 of Ahsoka. Beautiful. I love the show. I can't wait to see episode 4.
Yes, sir.
Episode 4 is gonna be
we got 5 more. We got 5 more episodes left, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 down. We got 5 more episodes left.
Episode 4, I've already heard rumors. It's going to be a big episode.
Oh,
It's
we'll see.
It's the end of the first half of this series.
Yeah, because
So
episode 5 is the bomb.
we're gonna get lightsaber fights, sir. Multiple. I'm
What's
telling
up,
you.
Comic
I'm
Board?
telling you.
Yeah, your buddy's talking to you too.
Oh no, oh no. Who is it? Oh no.
Forge, good night, buddy. I'm about to go to sleep too because I got to wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Thanks, Guy. Thanks for dropping in. We really appreciate it. I know it's
He
late on the
said-
East Coast.
He said he burned that Ram Man just for an effigy, just to.
Did not. Don't get him riled up. He's going to sleep.
He said, "Oh, this Ram Man's trash. They dropped in value. Just
Hey, you know, as we get older, it's a little harder to get to sleep, man. Don't rile him up. Don't give him no anxiety.
So
yeah.
there's a Ram Man at Target, but it's a Masterverse.
All
All right, so you want to do that closing credits?
Got it. All right. So, of course, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors again. And if you want to get unlimited cover price for only 99 cents for 30 days, you type in the code Nirvana14. You know, keep track of your collection, figure out what they're worth, figure out if you want to buy or sell. You know, you see the dips and the rises. Again, so type in Nirvana14 for 30 days of unlimited cover price for only 99 cents. And then you go over to our pals over at Bird City Comics, get your store exclusives, your incentives, your toys, comic books. You type in TNH10 and you'll get 10% off your whole purchase. So don't forget. And I of course, you know, you don't need a code for this, but spend over $100 to get free shipping. And then you head over to our buddy DisplayGeek.com, get your protection for all your toys, your video games, your shelving, to display them, and you can type in Team Nerd Herd to save 10% off your first purchase. That's Team Nerd Herd off your first purchase, 10%. All right, and then thank you, sir. We really appreciate it. Go watch the episode if you haven't yet. Jesus Christ, you're killing me, Rob. All right, or anybody got any last words to say? Anything going on? We got shows coming up too.
Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow you got
Long story short
with the fellas. You want to miss some comic book knowledge? Check them out tomorrow. I think 7 or 6 on the West Coast. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's 6:30, something like that.
Yeah, on the West Coast, 9:30 on the East Coast, somewhere around that. 10 o'clock is the girls again with their this is the Near Nirvana one or comic book woman.
Yeah, no, Nearing Nirvana. CBW is on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Near Nirvana on Fridays. It's usually the big Friday podcasting for comic books, usually. And then Saturday morning, join me, Jeff. Charlie, are you there Saturday?
Yeah, I'm there, buddy. Let's do it.
We'll see how Jeff feels. I don't know if Jeff's hurting a little bit here.
Yeah.
So maybe
I'm sweating.
Maybe not,
it's hurting so bad.
yeah, maybe not Jeff, but at least me and Charlie for sure. Steve might not make it as well because he's hurting. So we're
I
all
mean, man, we can do it. Either way. You
Yeah,
got it.
old age is getting us, so don't worry.
Oh my goodness, talk about old age. Yeah.
So you know,
Yes, sir.
you see Jeff here screaming at the TV, but he's actually hurting as well. So it's twice as difficult for him.
Oh, I don't want to show you Voldemort.
No.
You should wear the turban like the teacher.
Professor Swiddle, or I forgot his
What's
name.
his name, man? Yeah, I know,
Squiddle?
He's
Professor
he's
whatever.
protection against the dark arts, right? Yeah.
Charlie, are you doing a video game show on Saturday afternoon or no?
Yes. You know what? I want to do Starfield because I got early access, so I need to create. Talk to Alonzo to create the StreamYard for that. So yes, at 5:30 on Saturday, for sure.
Okay. Well,
Game Addicts is back.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it's space. We're talking about Star Wars, so I got to show this game. Yeah, we're doing it.
And you have early access, so hell.
Yes, sir. So let's do it. Let's
The
do it.
return of Game Addicts. There you go.
I just do a special title for that.
And you know what I'm going? You know where I'm going tomorrow night?
What's that?
I'm going to a 50 Cent concert.
Oh,
Shut
really?
up.
Yeah,
50
it's
Cent?
2002 all over again, bro.
I mean,
Is he-
Mr. In the Club, 50 Cent?
Yeah,
Is he in
50
LA?
Cent.
Is he in LA or here?
No, in San Diego at the At the one in Chula Vista, that outdoor amphitheater area.
No way, dude! I didn't know he was here. That's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I got some seats. So it's my daughter Amber coming into town, and for whatever reason, she's like, "Well, I want to go with you guys because I."
Oh, that's cool.
Wait. She knows who 50 Cent is?
Yeah, because I played it in my Camry and back in 2002 on loop pretty much. So she remembers.
He has some cool special guests, right? Doesn't he have like some special guests coming on or something?
You'll probably have the AO and Lloyd Bank.
That's cool, man.
A bunch of nobodies. Oh, Busta Rhymes is going to be there. There you go.
Oh, Busta Bus. That's even cooler. I'll watch your stories, dude. I'll check out your stories.
And you know, in the G unit, the AO and Banks.
Man. I'd be more excited to see Busta because he gives a good show.
Legend. Yeah.
He gives a good show. That's why.
Yeah, I love
Busta. It's both Swole 50 and Swole Busta. What are you talking about? It's more like 60 cents now.
55 cents and Buster, not Busta, because it's Swole with the juices.
That's cool.
Dude, Busta Rhymes was one of my favorite rappers when I was in high school.
Oh hell yeah, hip hop.
One of my favorite.
For sure.
I was in the middle of like woo-ha.
I got you all in check.
So yeah, so they're in town. You know, Labor Day weekend, long weekend.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, so and
good family times and good music.
And I love how
I'll check out your stories, dude. I'll check out your stories for sure. You'll post something.
Yeah, I'll check out West Coast Big Rob on IG. You'll see my story.
In
the club.
Free concert from his Instagram.
I don't know if I'll go live, but I'll definitely put it in my stories. I'll be like with my my FUBU and my Timbs and my
buddy,
my 48 Levi's.
Dude, where the Dragon Ball pink jacket, bro?
No, it's too fucking hot. You crazy? It's like muggy and shit. It's like summer decided to show up finally in San Diego.
He's gonna be wearing a wife beater.
Yeah.
Like
do-rag and my gold chains and everything.
That's funny.
Yeah, my Timbs. I said my Timbs and my FUBU, my do-rag.
Fuck, that's just way too heavy, bro. That's too much.
And I'll be like, word.
Big ass gold chain that says word.
No, it says God, you know. Yeah, God. All right. Well, that's it. It's enough humiliating myself. So it's we're running our mouth here. So who wants to close it off? Star Wars twist. Who wants to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay, Star Wars twist.
If you want to do it right, watch what you like, and may the force be with you.
Pew 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 for life.
Yeah.
Thank you.